Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is a UFC 158 post-fight recap with Bear Thunder Heart. And tonight, even though I missed a good majority of the fights, I was able to at least get all of the pay-per-view fights, and very little of the preliminary fights. Even though I've got all the results on paper anyway, and I can read them to you. However, what I'm gonna do, do something a little different. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call up this one particular person that I know. He kept on texting me throughout the whole night about the results of the fights and so forth. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna call him. We're gonna have him on loudspeaker, and then I'm gonna talk to him. So as well as I'm talking to you guys as well. So I hope you guys are ready to hear another voice besides myself tonight. So here we go. I'm calling him right now. Oh, come on. Don't tell me the connection failed. Let me see here. There we go. It's going through. Come on, Chris. That's his name, by the way. Hello, Chris. Hello, it's Bear. How you doing?
All right. Well, I'm at work right now.
Oh, you're over at work. I was gonna let you know. Would you like to know the fights or what?
Hold on.
I watched the fights tonight.
Oh yeah, how are they?
I didn't see all the fights. I saw all the pay-per-view ones though. I didn't get a chance to see the preliminary fights. But as far as what you were telling me or what you were asking me regarding Dan Miller, Jordan Mean versus Dan Miller, Dan Miller got beat up.
Dan Miller got beat up.
Yeah, TKO victory. Jordan Mean won by TKO.
Was it on the stats it said 0 all the way down?
Well, that's all I know. I didn't really.
0 takedowns, 0 submissions. Like somebody just got one hitter quitter.
Well, all I know is that for the Jordan Mean versus Dan Miller fight, I haven't seen it, so I don't know how it went down, but I do know it was by a TKO victory.
Yeah, I'm just going off of what the UFC website says too.
Yeah.
I got the results just a little while ago.
Yes.
Alright, well, I appreciate it. I'm real busy right now, so I gotta get back in there.
Yeah, definitely. I just thought I'd let you know that because I remember you kept texting me and I couldn't, get a hold of you for the moment. But
Alright, thanks. I appreciate it.
oh, no problem.
Alright.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. Well, I just had to tell him this real quick because he kept on asking me if we're going to Dan Miller fight. Well, anyways, let's get on with the other stuff. Since I kind of jumped ahead, let's get on with the others. Now, Reuben Duran versus George Roop. And the winner is George Roop, unanimous decision. Issei Tamura versus DJ Dillashaw. And the winner is DJ Dillashaw via knockout. Now, that I was actually able to see because it was actually shown during the preliminaries. And when it all boils down to it, I mean, they basically kept bouncing around, throwing good shots at each other with punches. Dillashaw, of course, had a better exchange and throwing like good leg kicks. Tamura was throwing leg kicks as well. But what happened was, here's the tricky thing. Dillashaw really faked it, like he was about to do a takedown, and instead Tamura ducked his head. He threw a nice kick. He didn't even get a chance to fully execute the kick, the roundhouse, because what happened was during when he was executing it, hit the knee caught Tamura in the head, knocked Tamura right down, and that's when Dillashaw just went for the kill and started pounding him. And then he got a knockout victory. So congratulations, DJ Dillashaw, on it. Now, Quinn Mulhern versus Rick Story, and the winner is Rick Story via TKO stoppage. I mean, from what I heard it was, I guess, he had a stoppage and Quinn, I guess, got scared or something like that, and he actually submitted. I guess it was through punches. I didn't get a chance to see it, like I said. All I know is that from what I heard, he was cowering down, and and then he just submitted to TKO stoppage. So congratulations, Rick Story, once again on their victory. From the last time that he lost was against Demain Maia in a very, very bad fashion. So good job, Rick Story, on this. And Daron Cruickshank versus John Makdessi, and the winner is John Makdessi via unanimous decision. And of course, I already read to Chris regarding Jordan Mean and Dan Miller. We already gone through that. And Darren Elkins versus Antonio Carvalho, and the winner is Darren Elkins via TKO. And I actually got a chance to see the ending of it actually, because what happened was Darren Elkins threw some nice combinations, threw a nice straight punch to the face, a nice up, and then he basically just started throwing nice combinations to the head, and then Carvalho got rocked a couple of times. But then what happened was Elkins threw another punch again and knocked him down to a point where he actually went and actually hit him again into the head, and they actually hit him again, knocked him down again. That's when the referee called a stop. And El Carvalho thought he was still fine, but obviously the referee saw different. So, and whether Carvalho was really knocked out or not is not even the main question at this point. I think what Joe Rogan said had a good point. Sometimes referees may make calls that may seem questionable, but the referees also want to protect the fighters too, their health for their long term. So sometimes that's why they stop the fight prematurely too sometimes. In any event though, Darren Elkins, I really feel the way he threw some combinations and rocked him really controlled the fight. I didn't see the whole fight, but the way he was just fighting Carvalho I think got rocked. And I don't think he really had much control anyway. So, congratulations, Darren Elkins, on a TKO victory. Now, let me see. Too far. Now, from this point forward, I actually got a chance to see those other fights. As Bobby Voelker versus Patrick Cote. And Patrick Cote, of course, was making the welterweight debut. And the winner via unanimous decision is Patrick Cote. Oh God, I don't necessarily agree with that decision, quite frankly. I think there was I think Bobby Voelker either could have won it via split decision or something like that, because I don't really think it was really a unanimous decision on Patrick Cote's part. I mean, yeah, it looked like it was even in the first round when they both were fighting and punching each other and swinging and so forth. But and of course later on though, it was Bobby Voelker in the third round for the most part who actually dominated Patrick Cote, mostly through ground and pound, and then of course Patrick Cote also got ground and pounded in the second round too for the most part. But Patrick Cote kept busy, and I think that's what got may have impressed the judges, that he kept busy when he was on the ground. Voelker couldn't necessarily really ground and pound as effectively. Matter of fact, he just kept on guessing for the most part, while Patrick Cote just kept busy on his back. But here was another thing too. There was several attempts that Patrick Cote tried to use arm bar submission from the ground, or neck submissions and things like that, scrabbling, various things like that. But at least there should at least be a split decision on either one of those parts. I don't really believe that Patrick Cote had a unanimous decision. I mean, yeah, congratulations to Patrick Cote, but I felt that Bobby Voelker had the third round. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think? Do you think Patrick Cote really won it fairly, or do you think there was some screwy decisions going on? I thought that was a little bit screwy decision on that. So I don't think it was unanimous. I think Bobby Voelker, if he would have won, he would have won via split decision, and if that's the case, then he got robbed one way or another. So, and yeah, it did take place in Montreal, Canada, but come on. You know, what's fair is fair. I mean, to me, I just thought it was very fishy that Patrick Cote won, but congratulations anyway on his welterweight debut. And another fight that I didn't think was one of the most exciting fights that I've seen is Colin Fletcher versus Mike Ricci. And the winner is Mike Ricci via unanimous decision. I mean, how do I really call this? I mean, it was one of those fights that was kind of boring. As a matter of fact, all they did was just, of course, what's his name? Fletcher had some cuts. Mike Ricci had some bruises and so forth through, measuring each other, throwing punches, kicks, and things like that. Some ground and pound, but very little. A lot of clinches that were going on, yes, but the fight wasn't really that exciting. It even got to a point where I guess I was just so relaxed and even though I was at a sports bar, I was so relaxed and it was so quiet in the sports bar that I almost fell asleep in that fight. So there have been times I was almost caught sleeping. I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, I gotta get up, I gotta get up, I gotta get up. And so with that being said, actually I almost fell asleep in the second round. So I missed some of the second round because I kind of like got knocked out for about a couple of minutes or something like that. But in the end, I got a chance to see Mike Ricci, and I know Mike Ricci did more. I don't think that was an unfair call. Colin Fletcher just did not do enough to really satisfy the judge's decision, even though he called himself the freak show. And I think that's probably the only entertaining part of it was just the fact that Colin Fletcher came on with that crazy clown mask on. And then of course Ricci came down with the gi with a samurai sword. That's probably the only entertaining part of the fight. It was before the fight, not even during the fight, or even afterwards for that matter. So, anyway, let me move on with this. Congratulations, Mike Ricci. Anyway, on your decision victory, and Chris Camozzi versus Nick Ring, and the winner is Chris Camozzi via split decision, and that was a very good fight right there. It wasn't actually, no. I take that back. It was not that exciting either, to be quite honest. I was thinking about some other fight in my head. Sorry about that. But, I mean, it was just a lot of trades and just a lot of kicks that were just going on around the ring and just, of course, they both went out and did the best as they could. But the fight was not the greatest in the world either. And, there was just a few times that Nick had Camozzi in trouble, but the thing about Camozzi was he was able to hit Nick more. Why? Because Nick Ring had his hands down. He was just trying all kinds of crazy stuff that he was doing. I don't know what Nick Ring was thinking. He was on such a winning streak, and then Chris Camozzi was only on a 3-fight winning streaks, but Camozzi stopped him with the split decision victory. So, congratulations, Chris Camozzi, on that. And the next fight is Nate Marquardt, the returning Nate Marquardt versus Jake Ellenberger, and the winner is Jake Ellenberger via knockout in the very first round, 3 minutes. Let's just say like this. It all started. I knew this was not going to go a distance one way or another. These two guys are so awesome in their power punches and things like that. Oh my goodness. Jake Ellenberger first started off. He was like all ready to pounce and everything. But of course, Nate Marquardt just started attacking with the leg kicks and various other combinations and so forth. Jake Ellenberger came back. But what happened was, but in the very end, near the about 3-minute mark, it was actually Nate Marquardt tried to throw against the fence, tried to throw a kick towards him. Jake had him hit in the ribs, and it actually had him and then clocked him again right in the face, not once but two, 3 times. And that's when Nate Marquardt really got rocked to such a degree that he just went down, and Jake Ellenberger pounded him, and that's when the referee stopped it and really awarded him a knockout victory. Wow, Jake Ellenberger is on such a freaking roll. My goodness. Now the fact that he just beat Nate Marquardt, now he's on a whole new level now in the welterweight division. Don't even be surprised if he's the next guy to fight after the Johnny Hendricks and Georges St. Pierre fight. Don't even be surprised if he's the next contender for the welterweight championship. And I think if anybody else that deserves some crack, it's Jake Ellenberger. So more about the title, more about the welterweight championship later in a bit of a while. Matter of fact, speaking of contenders, let me go on and do it like this. In a co-main event, Johnny Hendricks versus Carlos Condit, and the winner is via unanimous decision, Johnny Hendricks. Now, I was actually surprised it actually went the whole distance, to be perfectly honest with you, because I didn't think it was going to go the distance. I thought one of them was going to get knocked out. Funny thing about it is, of course, they knew of course, Johnny Hendricks knew that Carlos Condit has the ability to knock people out with his flying knees and knee strikes. Whether Carlos Condit knew that Johnny Hendricks has that nice, powerful, devastating left, and a good strike with a right hand too to knock anyone out, like he did previously to Martin Kampmann.